I'm on the PM News Desk. What's the way forward for Thuli Madonsela? What's the next step for her office?
Well, she says the envisaged process is such that after receiving the 28-page document, she's going to review it and assess the reasonability. This is how she puts it, of the security issues that were brought in by the security cluster ministers. After that, if there are any changes that need to be effected and there are no major disagreements, they will then effect those changes. However, if there are changes that are largely problematic, perhaps security cluster want to deal with those and she doesn't agree with that posture that they would have taken or assumed, she would then ask them to please bring a list of security experts to her office, whereby she will also employ her own security experts to deal with the matter at hand. After that, the provisional report will be shared then amongst those affected people, whether be the people who had complained or the implicated parties. Then you'll take the process from there. So it will move on from the review up until the report is disseminated to only the interested parties, still being kept quite secret.
Well, Madonsela saying this morning that she's not going to be dictated to by ministers and she actually wants to depoliticize this process. But how will she do this, Yolisa, seeing that this was a political hot potato to start with?
Well, she says, in fact, exactly what you pointed out, Krishni, that it was politicized. And she says it's very unfortunate because this is more a technical issue, not a political issue. Perhaps the ministers, or she should have insisted that the ministers bring the security experts to her office and deal with these matters. She is clear. She is no security expert. She would never have made that assumption that she is, because she knows her role. But what she's adamant about is that the buck stops with her. Whether the ministers are concerned or not about what emanates after the review process, it still stops with, which is interesting then, because you remember last Friday when the security cluster decided to pay the legal fees of the public protector, they did say, depending on what comes out, they might want to go to court again and challenge Thuli Madonsela if she doesn't want to include certain aspects. So we are expecting some wrangle again, because it seems from today's briefing that Thuli Madonsela is not interested in being dictated for, if you like. And the security ministry, even though they've accepted, you know, the new tone which is quite conciliatory, it seems like they will still take the matter forward if they're not particularly happy.
When can we expect some sort of finalization on the report?
Well, she said within a month. The report should be out to the interested parties. But just to mention one more thing, she says things could have played out differently. They really didn't need to go to court. All the parties could have just spoken outside of taking each other to court, because remember the security cluster lodged an urgent bid to ensure that they interdict Thuli Madonsela. And she says, to quote her, I'm quite saddened about the turnout of events, but now she's going to try to amend the fences moving forward.
Thank you. Our reporter Yolisa Njamela joining us in studio. She, of course, covered the media briefing earlier today in Johannesburg. Well,